Patch 1.6, massive one. This is one we've been waiting for a very long time. It's also event based, so we are going to have an event pass here. And, some cool stuff is going to be happening. This one is massive because we've been having some nerfs teased for a little bit and really overdue for about a month. But big one, heimer is being reworked. 3 mana turret is now going to be fearsome. 4 mana is going to be overwhelm, and 6 is going to be elusive. Swapping those up to kind of make this kind of champion card more balanced, more fair to play against, but not killing it. This is a very, very good change, and coupled with this is going to be a massive nerf to Flashy Brilliance, which makes heimer go from being super oppressive and very annoying to play against to fair and an interesting champion. I am actually excited to revisit him post nerfs because I think he will actually be cool to play against and not just really dumb, wait till turn 5 or 6, just slam him, get a bunch of elusive units, and just win the game. This is actually going to make him a cool champion to play with and against instead of just, a vomit my 3 mana, 4 mana spell type of champ and just win the game. So I think this is a massive change. It's going to kind of just lead to heimer going from being one of the dumbest champs in the game to one of the most fun and interesting ones. And I think that the way they swapped the turrets around was very good without killing the card. Massive change, very, very good. Next up, Runboy from 1 to 0 power. This change is one that actually really does nerf him quite a bit. Him not being able to do damage without a buff is quite bad. But you still get the Mighty Poro. He still does offer you a chunky body. But I do think that this is going to be kind of a significant decrease at his power level and will lower his play rate quite a bit. Which is kind of tough, right? Him having 1 attack is quite good. But going to 0 is really, really bad. And I will say that I think we're going to see a drop in Brom's play rate quite a bit. So it's still a decent champ, though. I mean, the Mighty Poro is a big part about this card. The 1 damage isn't always relevant. So I think that that's fine. He's going to be less powerful, but still good. Another nerf to the Braum Anivia deck is going to be Agnivia going from 2 health to 1. This just makes it so you have, I guess, more counterplay later on in the game. Post, the Herring plus 500 Anivias. You'll be able to, Vile VC Agnivia or just, Withering Whale, for example, Static Shock. It just makes it so you don't really just lose to infinite Anivias later on as often as you would right now. I mean, if your opponent's going to summon 6 Anivias, you're still probably going to lose, but at least now you can clear a couple of them and then remove the eggs relatively easily. So I don't think this is a massive nerf, but it is one that does kind of bring Anivia more into line, I think, later on in the game. I will say from the champions, the one change that I'm thinking is missing here is the Ezreal Nerf. One that I hope we see soon. We're about a month off Targon now, so we will have a new expansion in about 4 weeks. And, I would really like to see Ezreal change before then. Spells. Relentless Pursuit being changed from fast to slow. This is massive, so you can't just stack it with combat or when your opponent opens with a spell on their attack phase and you're playing a Lucian deck. Also nerfs the Lucian too, because, Relentless Pursuit is this card. So I think this is a good change overall. No real complaints. Just a decent one. Yeah. This is good balance-wise. It'll make Relentless Pursuit still strong, but less frustrating for sure. Arena Bookie, massive change from a 3 mana 2/1 to a 2 mana 2/2. This is a very good change. We'll make him playable in quite a few decks, and I will be experimenting with him in discard. Good change. I'm happy about this one. Can couple the next 3 together, all Noxus nerfs, and man, holy, this was overdue. Basilisk Rider from a instead of a 5/3 to a 4/3, so with Overwhelm he'll be a 5/4 instead of a 6/4. Decent change, not the biggest one, but it does tune down the power level a little bit. Good change. This card's Brain Dead, very powerful on curve. Now it's less Brain Dead, less powerful on curve. I'm happy. Disciple and Grenadier, you can couple these 2 together, so both of them, instead of doing 2 damage, will now do 1. So you do 1 damage to the Disciple, she'll now do 1 Nexus damage to your opponent. And Grenadier's Last Breath now just does 1 as well, but he gets a buff in the form of 1 health. This is a good change. I mean, making Disciple at 2/2 would effectively gut the card. So leaving her at 2/3 means that, she's still going to be able to have her effect trigger. You're going to get your plunders off with her if you want, but she's not going to be, allowing your opponent, if they're playing the card, to kind of just kill you out of nowhere with transfusions and demolitionists. Basically, the Grenadier, Disciple, and Basilisk Rider nerf are going to make games more interactive and less brain dead. Right now, Noxus decks literally just don't do anything. They just look for 1-drops, Disciples, transfusions, demolitionists, Grenadiers, and they all run the same early game package. We talked about this earlier in a couple of videos going over Noxus, but very, very brain dead early game package, very easy to play with, and I'm happy about kind of removing a lot of the bursts that these kind of decks could do, because it'll just mean that mid-range is more open to being able to be played in the metagame right now, which will lead to, you know, the opportunity to kind of experiment with decks and a less kind of forced metagame where it's kind of like rock, paper, scissors as it is right now. So I think this is a very, very good change that will allow you to actually play the game with a lot of decks now, instead of just being like, oh, it's turn 6, I'm dead. Nice. Yeah. Very, very good change. While not completely killing these Noxus burn kind of aggro decks, it will allow you to play against them and have more counterplay. Awesome change. I'm very happy about this. Flash from 3 to 4. Very good change. We talked about this a little bit before. This card will still be good in the heimer decks, I assume, but it won't be free anymore because you know, you can only have 3 spell mana, so you are gonna have to spend 1 mana on this. Also might just be terrible and not playable anymore. Excited to play with it though, because it is changed, and I am looking to play heimer post nerf because I think he actually will be cool now and fun. 2 discard cards are up next: Dredger and Zonite Urchin. So Dredger goes from a 2 cost card to a 3, but you discard and draw with him, and Zonite Urchin is not a last wish. Now it is now just going to be a straight up discard to then draw. So this is actually a nerf to Zonite Urchin in the context of like Petty Officer, for example, but or like any other real summon for 1 cost units. But other than that, if you're playing a discard deck, it is a buff, which I think overall will make the card less frustrating when your opponent rolls it off of like those kind of effects, so they don't get to draw then. But it will be very good for the Draven Jinx decks. So I'm excited to lab these in Arena Bookie together with the Jinx Draven, as we actually just had a lot of success with that deck pre-buffs. So, you know, I'm excited to jam it again. It's a board-based aggro deck where you get to go wide and pop off. So, hey, I'm going to be testing this a little bit more, labbing this a bit more, and I'm excited. I actually really, I am very excited about this. Very good changes. Next up a change, we talked about Shadow Assassin from a 3-mana 2/2 to a 3-mana 1/2, sorry. Shadow Assassin is the Azure Drake of Legends of Runeterra. This change is very good. She will still be good in decks that need her, you know, as a draw, but she won't be as powerful as she is right now. Solid change. It's one that doesn't gut the card and just makes it so she still has a niche instead of just being an auto include. Very, very good change. A Yasuo buff, Steel Tempest from 3 to 2. Kind of a useless one, but you know, this is just a card that's not very good because it's so static. It only works when your opponent's attacking, and it only stuns a unit then. So it makes it not great, whereas like Custom Palm always works whenever on anything, so it's very powerful for that reason. But this is basically just looked at as a Yasuo buff, potentially, you know, an Expedition buff as well. Decent change. Another Yasuo buff, that's all I can really say. River Shaper from a 3-mana 2/2 or 3-mana 2/1 to a 3-mana 2/2. Decent change. This isn't massive, but I think that, you know, being able to play around the Feasted Whale are nice, and River Shaper, you know, maybe you can get 2 attacks off now if your opponent's playing a slower deck and can't do too much early, so could be cool. River Shaper, I believe, saw a decent amount of play with like Fiora decks, and we might see those come back potentially with Will being nerfed. This is a good transition to that because, man, it happened. Been talking about this for months, man. Absolute months. And this is a change that I believe is one that's will still make the card quite good. 5 mana is still very playable, but not at the tier where it's like, I'm just gonna throw Ionia in my deck, so I have Will of Ionia now. Good change. I would have liked to see 6 mana or slow, but that's fine. We got the nerf. I'm happy about this. Swain will be more playable for sure. And I think this is nice. I kind of can't believe it happened. I think that it still should have gone to slow or going to 6 mana for fast, but you know, at 5 it's very playable still, and I think that, you know, just this not being played in every single deck now will be quite nice. And the decks that do play it do get, you know, kind of restricted by the mana cost a little bit more, so it will be harder to play. And I am very, very happy about this because this card is just too efficient, too strong at 4, and at 5 it is still just good. There's nothing wrong with it. Very good change, and I'm happy to see that. Narwhal and Hunting Fleet buff, not too relevant, more so for expeditions, I think, but this going from a 5-mana 7/7 to a 4-mana 6/6 is pretty big. You do want a 4-cost card for your Bilgewater deck. Could be a decent one, honestly. It's not the worst card in the entire world. The Narwhal also gets changed from a 3-mana 2/4 to a 2-mana 2/3. So, I mean, good changes overall. I'm happy about this, but it's not like massive or constructive. Really sweet new board as well. I'm hoping the soundtrack's dope for this, and I definitely will pick it up if it is. Cool. And a deck bundle coming out with GP Sedge. Hopefully the other supporting cards in this are quite strong. If that's the case, then I definitely could recommend picking this up for newer players. 2K coins is kind of steep, but you do get 6 champions. It looks like you get some decent epic cards as well. You get a Rex there, Stormclaw Ursine, and you know, your Battleship here too. So could be good. Expedition change is not really going to go over the O's, but you know, it's nice that they're still balancing this format, even though it doesn't really get talked about that much. I'm a fan, and I will revisit the speed run soon. I think this is good though. And 2 bug fixes that are really relevant. So number 1, Swain gains level of progress from Final Spark overwhelm damage. So for Swain Lux, this is a big deal. Put that deck a little bit. And now Teemo and Swain trigger their Nexus Strike abilities when damaging the Nexus with Dragon's Rage. This didn't always work. So now it does. It's massive. So I actually do play Swain with Dragon's Rage. Not so much Teemo. But I do, in fact, play Swain with it. And I've had it where it doesn't work before, and I've been very confused. So it's nice that that's being fixed. And yeah, so Swain, man, you know, it got a nerf with Will of Ionia, obviously. But hey, got a couple buffs. River Shaper, maybe. Steel Tempest is obviously a good buff. Shadow Assassin, kind of a nerf. But hey, you know, we're not going to be dying on like turn 6 or 7 now to Disciple, Grenadier, burn stuff with the Riders. So hey, good change. This is a patch that really does shift the metagame quite a bit. And I am really excited for it. I feel like the first deck I'm going to want to jam is just discard stuff because I was having so much fun with that. But man, this is just so nice, dude. It's a very good patch for Swain as well. I would say the only thing that they're kind of missing with this is that Ezreal Karma is still going to be nuts. Ezreal TF as well. And I guess just Ezreal in general is going to be very, very powerful. I will say that this is going to bring back more of a mid-rangey kind of metagame though. Especially with like the Will nerf, it's going to make it so it's just not so efficient to run this. So, you know, your 5-6 cost champions, mostly just your 6 cost champions like Hacker won't just be like completely clowned right away. You know, it's a lot of those like that because I mean, Will of Ionia is fine into 5 cost units because, you know, later on in the game you can still replay them, but 6+ Will of Ionia just slapped. So this card's play rate should go down a little bit. It's still very good and we'll see play for sure, but I think this will lead to a metagame that could be kind of more experimenty where you can kind of have fun with decks and it's not so rock paper scissors as the past patch has been. So overall I'm happy with the card changes. I think the only thing they should have really done is nerfed Ezreal as well. Just waking up. So I mean if I put a little bit more critical thought into this, I could probably come up with a couple other cards that should have been nerfed or maybe even buffed. But overall, man, these are good changes if you ask me. And we can move on to the event now. So Spirit Blossom. Adding a new lab, one that's actually cool instead of the ARAM one, I think, Beasto. So what happens now is you get 1 to 6 pre-constructed decks, you get to choose it. You start the game with 30 Nexus Health, which is a massive change from what you're used to. And when a unit dies, its stats are conferred to a random unit in hand. So you just get massive, huge amalgamation units now, which is really, really cool. A bunch of icons from the new Epic quests, and you get petals to kind of do the Spirit Blossom event pass. A lot of cool free stuff. You get some emotes, some shards. I believe a card back. I don't know if you get a Guardian for free. Let's see. Nope, no free Guardian, but you get some emotes, some card backs. Shards, a random champion card, and an epic wild card. I believe you're going to be getting 5 Guardians, 4 card backs, and a ton of shards if you do purchase this kind of event pass for $9.75. No boards though, unfortunately, but 5 Guardians, 4 card backs, that's a lot, and I think it's definitely worth it just for that. They also have a really nice theme with the Spirit Blossom stuff. I think it just is aesthetically very pretty, appealing, and nice. I have a problem with looking for the Guardians. I don't know exactly which ones I want when I go to purchase them. So glad I have some ride points left for the event pass, and I'm happy to farm these little guys up because they're so sweet. They're cute. And the event's from the 22nd to 19th, so it's coming out. It's literally tomorrow, which is awesome. Same with the balance patch, all that kind of stuff. So, oh man, 10 a.m. PST tomorrow, dude. Holy man, I've been waiting for this for like a month, man. Runeterra is about to be fresh, boys. Experimentation's back on the board. You're about to be hit with some daily YouTube videos, and we're about to have a bunch of fun, man. I'm excited for it. So the fact here is basically just saying that you can play any game what you want to make progress towards getting the petals of the quest, which is awesome. Since the battle pass, or sorry, the event pass again is $9.75. Future events will be similar but different kind of themes, and it probably won't come back. So if you want it, get the pass if you're looking for the cosmetics. But if you just want the wild cards, you can just play. You're fine. It's not a big deal. You get some shards for free. So even get a card back a little bit later on. But in my opinion, $9.75 is worth it if you're free to play. You still get a decent amount of stuff, right? An emote, shards, an icon, card back, and yeah. overall pretty worthwhile to do, even if you're not going to go for the premium option. Cool icons, yada yada. Very, very good patch. This is one that I've been waiting for a long time. And man, I am excited to just game, boys. Hit some discard stuff, play some Swain. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys like the most as far as the changes goes. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys a little bit later today with Timo.